Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you're at. I want to thank you for checking out the Cali Truck Stop Theater. And this is my channel. I'm just a truck driver. And I just pretty much talk about anything that comes to my mind or whatever's in my heart. And just as usual, Karen always wants to interrupt me when I'm doing something. And if you don't know, maybe I didn't say it or didn't say in previous videos, but Karen, I call the GPS slash truck system in my truck. I call it Karen, and I thought it was an appropriate type of name, seeing as how we know who Karen is, and the system kind of works like a Karen. So I thought it would be rather comical to call it Karen. And my truck, I named it. If you don't know, I named it.
1 mile ahead, take exit 244 and then turn left on California 119 West Cap Highway.
Yes, thank you. You already told me. Anyways, I call this truck Young Casper. Young Casper. Why? It just seemed like a I don't know, it just seemed like a cool name, I guess, you know. It is white. I am driving a white truck, you know, and it's pretty brand new. So the person who suggested the name to me, I was like, you know what, I like this. So it's been Young Casper ever since to me, you know. Anyways, but yeah, I'm a truck driver, and this show, this channel is pretty much what I would consider a variety show. So it's not going to be all specific, because I'm a truck driver, and the name is Cali Truck Stop Theater, which hints to something that's being truck wise. Excuse me. It's not going to be all about trucks and trucking and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be whatever's on my mind, you know. And so, but this video is actually going to be about trucking, an aspect of trucking. I was doing this video just a little while ago. I had some great shots because I was coming down off the Grapevine into the Central Valley of California, you know, and I got to talking about engine brakes, because the engine brakes are needed in a CDL truck in order to make it down some of these steep grades in a safe manner, because as you know, unless you've been living under a rock somewhere, these commercial trucks can get pretty heavy, which means that it requires more work on the brakes. It taxes the brakes so much more than a car, because there's so much weight that needs to be stopped. And so if you don't if you don't use your brakes, or excuse me, your engine brake, you can burn up your brakes on your wheels there, and that's a big danger, because It's a big danger because that can be you can cause a fire. And I've said before that these trucks are rolling tinder boxes. And so not only is the fire aspect or the fire danger something to be looked at, but also what needs to be, I'm sorry if I keep you know, pausing and stuff like that, but I'm just making sure of my surroundings here. But anyways, not only is threat of fire something to worry about, but also you could crash. You know, you could crash. You could run over somebody. You know, you could kill other people. So it's very important that you use all the tools available to you to make it on these roadways as safe as possible. So what I was talking about was before I lost my video. Well, what I was talking about was the importance of having of your engine brake. Engine brakes are very important because, like I said before, the main purpose is to help you to stop your big rig truck without destroying your brakes, and hopefully to give you a better braking performance to possibly avoid an accident or what have you. But you know, going down these steep grades, it's very important to use your engine brakes as much as possible, and then your main brakes, you use that as a supplement to your engine braking in case the engine braking is not enough to stop you at to slow you down to the desired speed, or to even make an abrupt stop. You know, after having trucks with engine brakes on them, I don't think I want to drive a truck without an engine brake, because I don't want to burn the brakes up. What happens when you burn, or when you use your brakes without the engine brake, is that you any time that you use brakes when applied to the wheel mechanism, they cause friction, and everybody knows that when you have friction, heat is associated with it. And the thing with brakes is that when they get heated up, they lose their ability to do what they were designed to do, which is to stop your vehicle. And that's very bad if you use your brakes and you heated them up to the point to where they're not working for you. So you lose braking power when they get heated up. And the more that they get heated, you know, like I said, when they get heated up, you lose your braking power. So if you heat up your brakes and you're going down the hill and you still got plenty of hill to go, and you start losing your braking power, your automatic reaction is to apply more braking power. Applying more braking power is going to cause you to cause more friction with the brakes, which is going to heat up your brakes even more, and that cycle is going to go on and on and on until you're just not able, there's just no braking whatsoever. Your brakes will oftentimes start to smoke. And if you know how fires start, you need three components. You need oxygen, You know, you need some kind of fuel source, and you need air. Or did I say that twice? Well, oxygen, your fuel source, and there's one other element there. I done forgot it right now. But anyways, these three elements have to be present in order for a flame to start, in order for a fire to burn and to grow. So just think of it as like, you know, I don't know if you've been in the Boy Scouts or whatever, and you go and you take that magnifying glass and you find some dried leaves or what have you, and you allow the sunlight to get magnified to a point inside that magnifying glass. You know that what happens is that as you start to heat up the leaves and stuff, it starts to smoke as it gets heated up, and the longer that piece of dried brush gets heated up, it'll start to smoke. And once it reaches a certain temperature and you get all the elements to have a fire, that's what happens. A fire pops up, and now you have a burn, right? Well, this is the same concept with your brakes. The importance of having an engine brake is to cut down on the damage that your brakes can endure when trying to slow down on a steep grade. Plus, it will help to lower the chances of your brakes catching on fire. If your brakes catch on fire, that's a bad thing, because remember, you're rolling down the roadway in a rolling tinderbox. So if you got a fire anywhere on your truck, you need to react faster than that fire does. And let me tell you, I've seen videos of how fire reacts on a truck, and fire grows rather quickly on a truck. So if you ever have a fire on your truck, you need to act faster than that fire, because in no time at all, that truck can go up in flames like it's nobody's business. You know, so it's to help to avoid that kind of stuff, because if your brakes catch on fire, of course your truck's gonna get on fire. You're gonna lose your truck. You're gonna lose the contents, your personal contents in the truck. But not only that, you're gonna lose, or you have the potential to lose, the cargo that you carry. And then with all that, you may lose your job, depending on the circumstances. So that's the importance of having these brakes, the engine brake. Because when you're going down these steep grades, or when you're just driving in general, and let's say that you're driving too fast, you need to slow down or whatever. In that sense, when you're just driving and you're just trying to slow down or whatever, in my opinion, I use the engine brakes all the time, and that's just to keep down the wear and tear on the brakes. They last longer. But in cases when you're going downhill, an engine brake is always needed, and that's to ensure that you get down the hill rather safely with no incident. So it's not much, not much that I had to say about that at this time. Maybe I'll go in depth with it, later in another video, what have you. But for now, I guess, just enjoy the ride, I'm in California right now. I'm down in the Central Valley, down in the southern part. Like I said, I just came over the Grapevine Pass, and I'm picking up a load. I'm picking up a load out here in Maricopa. And I'm going to be headed out to Colorado. So I should be out there in a few days or so. But yeah, let's see here. So anyways, about the day, it's a very nice looking day. It's a you know, clear skies. There's a little bit of snow on the local mountains around here. You might not be able to see it, but it's looking like a spring day. And even though it's still the middle of winter, it looks like spring is coming by pretty quickly. And I'm excited for that because I'm not a big fan of the cold weather. I'm not a big fan of hot weather either. But spring, I like spring because to me it's neither hot or cold. You know, it's neither too hot or too cold. But more importantly is that, you know, when you know, everything starts to come to life in spring, and so I like that. I like life, and like the way that you see the day is today, that's usually how a typical spring day looks. And I mean, it just, if I was to go outside right now, I bet you it'd be peaceful outside, you know. And that's something else that I like. I don't know, it's just something about the way that the sun rays bounce off everything in the springtime, that it's just you know, it just makes me feel good. And it's not because of the vitamin D that I'm getting, because I'm actually covered up. So I'm actually not getting all that much vitamin D. But I just like the way that springtime looks. When we have, you know, when things start to come alive again. You know, the birds have a special kind of song in the springtime. You know, the trees start to come to life. The ground starts to come to life. Everything starts turning green. Unless you're in California. Unless you're in California, then California's going to look like this all the time. Unless they import palm trees or something like that. California, you know, always looks like this because the claim is that there's no water. And that, you know, that can be the case. California is really a desert area. You know, you got California, Nevada, well, the whole southwest region, California, Nevada, Arizona, you know, New Mexico, all that is a it's a desert. So there's not really all that much water here, or there hasn't been all that much water here. But also, you know, with the amount of people that's in California, there's a serious drought here because there's a lot of people that live here in California. Now, I think that enough rain does fall out here in California. At least it used to be like that. But what I see, especially in San Diego, where I'm from, is that the news is always complaining about how we're in such need of water and that we just don't have enough water here to support people. And that statement is true. In many areas, the water supplies are very scarce for supporting the amount of people that are here. And you know, when you got millions and millions of people here living here, and you only have a select amount of reservoirs, and you hadn't built any new reservoirs to keep up with the growing population, well then yes, water is going to become scarce. You know, water is going to become a very valuable commodity. But you know, people don't really think about that when it comes to drought conditions, and maybe the drought conditions, or maybe the conditions that that make a place considered to be in a drought area. It maybe goes far beyond just the amount of water, but more about how much moisture is in the ground. But as far as water is concerned, you know, for our consumption and our, you know, things that we use it for, you know, I find that the media oftentimes will make it really easy to convince people that we are starved of water, which in a sense it is true, but they don't really tell you the real reason why that's true. And the real reason is because we got a lot of people that come to California. California is a hot spot in certain places, mainly on the coast areas. When you get a lot of people that want to live in this area, then yes, you're going to need more water. But seeing as how I'm familiar with California, or excuse me, with San Diego, and maybe other portions of California are the same way. In the way of San Diego, they have not built any new or expanded any reservoirs. No new reservoirs or expanded any reservoirs that I'm aware of. A lot of these reservoirs, I would say at least in the last 50 to 60 years, I think was the last, I don't know, I'll have to do some research on that, but I would have to say that within the last 50 to 60 years, there hasn't been any new reservoirs that has been constructed. And I may be wrong on that, but that's something I should look into. But I know that in recent years there hasn't been any reservoirs that has been constructed. And so with that, you have a growing population of people using and consuming water, which would sound like an astounding rate, but it's just because you got large amounts of people. So yeah, large amounts of people mean large amounts of water. Excuse me. Excuse me. Woo. So anyways, to make water more available, I would think that you would, you would create some new reservoirs so that you can have more water, so that when it does rain, you can collect more water and you can be able to better serve the people in your area.
6.2 miles ahead, stay on California 33 South, looks 9 straight as it turns right.
You know, I would think that you would construct more reservoirs to collect more water. That would be the smart thing to do, I would think. So yeah, I just wanted to, I don't know how I got on the subject of water. I don't remember, but maybe if I go back in the video, I would figure that out. Anyways, as far as engine brakes, it was just a brief description or a brief understanding of engine brakes. I didn't go too in depth with it, but maybe I would do that at another time. So, but y'all have a good day. Be blessed. And I'm about to pick up my load here in just a little bit. I'm less than 10 miles away. So, and that was a dumb move by that truck. And so anyways, I'm gonna be out of here. I'll see y'all later.